What if every WWE King of the Ring runner-up won the tournament and earned a WWE Championship title match? Within the world of professional wrestling, there is no shortage of what-if scenarios, and with the King and Queen of the Ring tournaments coming around the corner, let's take a trip down memory lane and see what could have been had the WWE gone in a different direction for their tournament finals. In 1985, King Iron Sheik versus Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I would firmly be in favor of this matchup. I think the King Iron Sheik gimmick maybe could have worked around this time, and I think we all know who we would be going for in this hypothetical matchup. 1986, King Harley Race versus Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship. Harley Race would become the King of the Ring a little bit earlier than expected, but an all-time matchup between two of the generation's best, Harley Race versus Hulk Hogan. You're going to be seeing a common theme here when it comes to the late 80s and these matchups. 1987, King Kong Bundy versus Hulk Hogan for the WWE Championship. A rematch of WrestleMania 2. To see King Kong Bundy with the King moniker would have been interesting to say the least, but his matchup against Hulk Hogan, I don't know if people really would have seen that in 1987. In 1988, the Macho King makes an early appearance, and he would have been facing off against the WWE Champion, who was actually the Macho Man, Randy Savage. So a one-on-one affair here for Randy Savage. Safe to say is there really is no lose situation here for him. 1989, the model Rick Martel versus Hulk Hogan for the WWE title. Something different during this time period we would not have seen on a large pay-per-view scheme to see Rick Martel versus Hulk Hogan. The outcome is really not in question, but still would have been interesting to see nonetheless. 1991, IRS versus Hulk Hogan. Hulk Hogan yet again. 1993, King Bam Bam Bigelow versus the WWE Champion Yokozuna. This would have been an interesting matchup, and to see the size of two of these competitors in a one-on-one matchup, would I have wanted to see it? Yeah! You better believe it. 1994, King Razor Ramon versus the WWE Champion Bret Hart. Sign me up in a heartbeat. 1995, King Savio Vega versus Diesel. I like Savio. Diesel was fine, but this matchup really is one of the least interesting for me personally. 1996, King Jake Roberts versus Shawn Michaels for the WWE Championship at that year's SummerSlam. Contrasting styles. I mean, a little bit of the 80s here with Jake Roberts and the rising star in the 90s as Shawn Michaels. I'm intrigued. 1997, King Mankind versus The Undertaker for the WWE title. I mean, come on. We know the historic and legendary battles between Foley and The Undertaker. I feel like this one would be no different. In 1998, King The Rock versus Stone Cold Steve Austin. I mean, again, see previous answer. Countless legendary matches between the two. This one would be no different. Obviously, Stone Cold and The Rock in the early stages of their rise in the WWE. But again, once again, yeah, sign me up. In 1999, X-Pac versus Stone Cold. I'm into it. A lot of people get that X-Pac heat when it comes to Sean Waltman. But honestly, between he and Stone Cold, I trust these two to put on an entertaining matchup nonetheless. 2000, King Rikishi versus the WWE Champion, The Rock. Two of the pillars of the Anoa'i family, the bloodline, if you will, and it was an early precursor to what their rivalry would become in late 2000 and early 2001. The Rock and Rikishi, some family feuding, I'm down for it. 2001, Kurt Angle was the runner-up, but he would be the winner in this what-if scenario, and he would be facing off against Stone Cold Steve Austin. We did see this in real life at SummerSlam 2001, and although it was a great rivalry in 2001, there's really nothing to talk about here because it happened in real life. 2002, Rob Van Dam versus The Rock at SummerSlam 2002. Dude, I mean, two of the biggest stars in the company, two of the most beloved wrestlers in the wrestling community. RVD versus The Rock. This was Rob Van Dam on the rise, The Rock on the way out. Contrasting styles, fan appeal, superstardom. I mean, what's not to like about RVD versus The Rock? 2006, Bobby Lashley versus John Cena for the WWE title. with these two iterations of the characters at that point in their career, it would really be something spectacular between the two. Bobby Lashley was on the rise. John Cena was already the top guy, the WWE champion. There was no doubt about it. He was the main face of that company. Put him against Bobby Lashley. Would I have wanted to see these matchup between two titans of the industry? Yes, absolutely. 2008, CM Punk versus Randy Orton, two goats of the industry. An early version of CM Punk versus the bald headed version of Randy Orton. I very much would have loved to have seen this. In 2011, they did have a match at WrestleMania 27, but with this character of CM Punk, again, still naive, still learning the business of the WWE, and Randy Orton at the peak of his powers as a heel, this would have made great television. 2010, John Morrison versus the WWE champ, The Miz. Now, from a match quality standpoint, this might not be a very, popular pick, but from a story standpoint, why wouldn't you want to revisit two members of the tag team that was The Miz and John Morrison? They did have a matchup in 2011, back in January of that year, but still having King Morrison versus The Miz, I'm always interested in seeing two former partners coming together for a matchup. 2015, Neville versus Seth Rollins. Of all the matchups here on this what if scenario, this one might be the most enticing, the one that I'm looking forward to, hypothetically, of course, the most forward to. Neville versus Seth Rollins. I mean, dude, two uber athletic men, and on top of that, this was Neville right out of NXT, and Seth Rollins had just cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase to win the title at WrestleMania 31. Of all the matches, this is the one that I would pick. 2019, Chad Gable, or at that time he was running around as Shorty G, versus Kofi Kingston. This one is an underrated pick. These two are actually really good at what they do. Chad Gable in the last year and a half has really stepped up his game, but he's always been an elite athlete. And Kofi Kingston as a WWE champion doesn't get a lot of love due to the creative that was placed in front of him. But between he and Gable, I trust these two to put on a great matchup. 2021, Finn Balor versus Big E. A matchup that I don't think we ever got to see, not at least in the main event level on WWE TV. But Finn Balor versus Big E, size versus speed, experience versus raw talent. Yes. Finally, 2024, Randy Orton versus Cody Rhodes. We will most certainly be seeing this matchup in the near future. In fact, as of this recording, both men had advanced into the next round of the King of the Ring tournament. But in 2024, the WWE champion Cody Rhodes versus this version of Randy Orton, it's a dream come true. I mean, two good friends, mentor and a protege, the legend versus the legend killer. What's not to like about this matchup? But if you liked this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and make sure you comment down below which is your favorite what if scenario for the King of the Ring winners. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe to the channel to stay up to date with all the pro wrestling content that we produce here on YouTube. And make sure to get your own J Area Wrestling t-shirt with the link in the description below. With that being said, appreciate you guys for stopping by and watching this video with me. Of course, my name is Jose Ramos Jr., and I'll be seeing you all in the next one.